Today I'm going to share with you the two peptides that helped me make a massive, massive physical transformation here. And you could see I went from somewhere around 15% body fat down to 10%, maybe even sub 10%, depending on who you talk to, which is the leanest I've ever been, and this is the best that I've ever looked. So the first peptide is melanotan 2. Very simply, melanotan 2 makes your body produce more melanin, which made me more tan. I also lived near the beach in Brazil at this time, so I was getting a lot of sun. I have naturally good tanning genetics, but the difference that getting tan made on my physique was massive. Now, I really didn't take very high doses of it. I'm going to break down all the dosing and all the technicalities in my melanotan 2 breakdown video that I've actually already shot it. I just need to edit it. I break down all the technicalities behind it, but I really didn't use a lot. I used small doses, starting with a nasal spray, and then eventually moved into the injectable version and just took it daily for around like a month. And then after that, kind of just took it like intermittently until I ran out of it. Overall, yeah, I mean, it makes you really tan. And obviously, I'll show you the pictures, the before and after. It works. It does the job. And people say it makes you really horny. I didn't really experience that, but I was also taking really small doses. And anything beyond that, I mean, it just made me really tan. I didn't really have too many issues with nausea because I slowly titrated up the dose. But I have experienced recently, even taking small doses, if you haven't taken it before or you haven't taken it a long time, it will make you a little bit nauseous, but it's not very uncomfortable. You just need to take small doses. And if you take it daily, very quickly your body gets used to it within a few days. And then for the peptide that actually helped me get leaner, which is SLUP332. Technically, it's not a peptide, it's a small molecule. I'm not a scientist, I'm not going to break it down for you. So the point is, SLU essentially works on the AMPK pathway, which from my understanding is just the mitochondrial pathway. It makes you sweat more in the gym. The main thing I noticed is that I was just hotter. I sweat more in the gym. And especially when you're really low body fat, this is actually really nice to be warmer in the gym. Now, I didn't start taking this until the very, very end of my cut, like basically the last 4 weeks of the cut. That's not what I would give credit to for making me leaner, but I started taking it probably when I was around 11% body fat, and it just helped me continue to progressively get leaner as I went through the cut. In that last 4 weeks, I did notice like just continued visual change. It wasn't massive compared to the month or 2 months before that. It was just consistent. Like I think it just kept me driving downwards in terms of my body fat without changing food. Now we added a little bit of cardio. I went from doing cardio once a week for 20 minutes to 3 times a week for 20 minutes, but that's a very small bump. Added that in and then had the SLU. And that was my experience with it. Now, SLU is honestly pretty expensive when it comes to the compounds that are out there that you can get, but it does work really, really well, and it's honestly pretty reliable. It's an oral capsule rather than an injectable, which I think most people like. And I've just had no bad things to say about it. I also never went above a few hundred micrograms per day. I think the maximum I ever took was like around 300. That wasn't a very high dose. I know some people that take up to a actual milligram of it, so 1,000 micrograms a day. Again, I never went above 300. So I'm actually still taking it right now. So I've been taking it for about 2 months. And my experience with it has been that I think it's really helped me stay lean. It's helped me maintain this body composition that I have, even while I went on a cruise and literally had an all-you-can-eat cruise, drank alcohol, sleep is all over the place, traveled from Brazil all the way to the U.S., then was there in California for a week, did the cruise, and then I flew here all the way to Asia. I'm eating on, in the airports, I'm eating whatever, just eating out, and managed to maintain the same body comp this entire time. And I think that SLU has helped with that. Now, I was making good choices with food. I'm going to make a whole video about how I've been able to maintain this leanness because that's also a big deal. Now, all of this goes to say what actually made the massive transformation was not melanotan, and it wasn't SLU. I just started taking SLU at the end. Melanotan, yeah, it made me tan, but none of those things really actually helped me get lean. What actually helped me get lean was, of course, being in a caloric deficit for almost 8 months. I started this cut in May. It is now January. I did a really long caloric deficit. Of course, I wasn't doing a lot of cardio, but it was really the caloric deficit. And then, of course, training really consistently, training about 5 days a week to hold on to all the muscle that I had. Because you can see I lost about 25 pounds of body fat over this period of time. Now, I just had all this muscle before. I've been building it for years, but now you can actually see it. And so really what made the massive transformation wasn't a peptide. It was just building muscle for the last 6-7 years, and then eventually now cutting down to see it all and getting really lean. And that's what made the actual massive transformation. I will say that when you get down to like 12% body fat, it like starts to look good. But once you get down to 10%, it's like very, very different. The look and the vascularity, it's just a totally different level. For some people, this might be really challenging. For me, I'm a naturally lean person, so this was actually fairly, I would say, fairly easy to get to be completely honest. But going lower than this, I can see it could get really challenging and you could really start to suffer. So that was my experience. And these were the 2 peptides that have made a pretty massive transformation. Technically just one and a small molecule, but whatever, technicalities, you get the point. So if you want to hear more about these peptides and my experience of using them in depth, then just leave it in the comments. I am working on a long video for the melanotan, and then I'll eventually make something for the SLU as I have more time and experience with it. So that is the end of the video here. This is more quick and dirty. I just wanted to get something done here while I'm traveling. It's been hard to keep up with making videos. So let me know if you liked this. I will see you in the next video.